The Gold Coast spiky landscape has long been a battleground for dominance, but the recent expansion of the Comancheros has intensified tensions on the glitter strip. The Gold Coast Bulletin has reported that in late 2024, the Comanchero MC, one of Australia's most notorious and well-known bikie clubs, has established a new chapter in the region, raising concerns about escalating tensions. The Mongols, who are Comanchero's bitter rivals, have long been major players in the region's underworld, but this development suggests a possible shift in the balance of power as tensions between the two groups escalate, potentially leading to a violent struggle for dominance over key criminal enterprises. According to the report, the chapter is led by convicted killer Nelson Patea, as its sergeant-at-arms, and enforcer Paea Talakai, as commander, and their presence has drawn significant law enforcement attention, due to the club's history of violence and organized crime. A photograph was also published in this context, capturing a moment of camaraderie among four men, who can be seen dressed in striking black and gold Comanchero gear. Their outfits, adorned with club patches, conveying a strong sense of unity and affiliation with the club. The picture made it clear that they were tight with the crew, and proud to show it. Authorities are now closely monitoring the situation, anticipating potential conflicts as the Comos expand their influence in the GC. In response to these growing concerns, on February 6 and 7, detectives from the Organised Crime Gangs Group, supported by criminal investigation branches from Brisbane, Caboolture, Rockhampton, and Maryborough, executed simultaneous search warrants at various locations across the southeast.
I am placing you under arrest for the offence of trafficking in dangerous drugs.
As a result of the searches, detectives located 2 revolvers, a large quantity of ammunition, a grow house with 19 plants, quantities of cocaine, cannabis and methamphetamine, and approximately $20,000 cash. Detectives located and charged 15 people with a total of 54 charges, including 3 men who were charged with recruiting persons to become a participant in a criminal organization. Nelson Patea last made headlines upon his release from prison after serving time for his role in the brutal 2015 manslaughter of pool builder Greg Dufty. Sentenced to 8 years behind bars, Patea was part of a group that viciously beat Dufty in July 2015, an attack so savage that his body was never found, adding a haunting mystery to the case. Locked up since May 2016, Patea was granted parole in the early 2020s, but his return to freedom sparked public outrage. The backlash was fueled by a self-congratulatory social media post, an unapologetic selfie, that said, "Back on the streets." Violence had long cast a dark shadow over the Patea family. Nelson's older brother, Lionel Patea, is serving 2 life sentences for double murder, one for the 2015 killing of his ex-girlfriend, Tara Brown, and the other for the brutal murder of Greg Dufty. In a fit of calculated rage, Lionel ran Tara off the road before savagely beating her to death with a fire hydrant cover. Just months later, he played a key role in Dufty's murder over a drug debt for which Nelson got manslaughter conviction. His sentences ensure he won't be eligible for parole until 2048. Though Nelson's conviction was for manslaughter rather than murder, his involvement in Dufty's death sealed the Patea family's place in Australia's crime history. Even behind bars, Nelson Patea's time in prison was turbulent. While he completed rehabilitation programs, including anti-violence training and fitness course and even caring for an abused dog that was later adopted, he was also accused of drug use and intimidating fellow inmates, leading to previous parole denials. These incidents cast doubt over his rehabilitation, making his eventual release a point of heated debate. On parole, Patea was required to live with his parents and continue his job as a plumber. He must wear a GPS tracker, adhere to a rigid 9 p.m. curfew, and remain under close supervision. In such circumstances, the emergence of a photo showing him clad in Como colors has sent shockwaves through law enforcement. Given his violent past and deep ties to organized crime, authorities fear this could signal a dangerous new alliance or resurgence in bikie activity. Moving to Comanchero Gold Coast commander, Paea Talakai, who also has a criminal record with a history of violent incidents linking him to the Comos. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to a fray, following a brawl at a Canberra strip club that saw security guards overwhelmed, staff hiding behind the bar, customers fleeing the scene and a man left unconscious. Officers described Talakai as a dedicated enforcer, who moved through the fight, looking for people to attack. He was seen in the security footage scanning the crowd, searching for targets, and throwing punches with precision. Witnesses reported that he showed no hesitation, striking with calculated aggression as chaos unfolded around him. His movements suggested he was not just caught up in the brawl but actively hunted for victims, reinforcing his reputation as a ruthless enforcer within the club. He had multiple opportunities to disengage and move out, but he didn't, and played a central role in the brawl, which escalated into a chaotic scene with punches flying and people using stripper poles to join in the violence. Though his defense team denied any Bikie affiliation, they argued that his actions were a result of personal struggles with alcohol and anger management. They claimed that Talakai's involvement in the violent altercation was tied to these ongoing issues, rather than any connection to organized crime. However, the court dismissed these claims, pointing to strong evidence of his ties to the Comancheros, which only added weight to the charges against him. He was sentenced to 9 months in prison, with 5 months to be served in full. In 2021, the Tongan-born Bikie was sentenced in the ACT Magistrates Court for attempting to smuggle drugs into prison by concealing them inside his body. During his visit at the Alexander McConaughey Center in September 2018, staff noticed his nervous behavior and later found a 10 cm ball containing methamphetamine, cannabis, and buprenorphine hidden in his rectum after a strip search. Talakai resisted removal, making the process unpleasant for prison staff. He later pleaded guilty to possessing the drugs and was sentenced to 48 days in jail, fully suspended for a 12-month good behavior order. In 2022, Talakai was caught consorting with convicted criminals at high-profile Brisbane venues, violating his strict bail conditions. Despite previous warnings, he was seen socializing with known offenders at the Kallal Hotel and the Mr. Mista nightclub. His reckless defiance culminated in a dramatic police chase after he fled officers at Kitten Strip Club, ignoring their orders before being tackled and arrested outside another nightclub. Already serving a suspended sentence for past offenses, Talakai was handed additional prison time and community service, along with a ban from Brisbane nightlife districts. His repeated entanglements with law enforcement further cement his reputation within the Comanchero ranks, making him a key figure in the club's Gold Coast expansion. The GC Bulletin further details that both the Mongols and the Comancheros have attack-on-site orders between one another, escalating their violent rivalry and territorial disputes. Attack-on-site orders refers to an instruction within a Bikie club to initiate immediate violence upon encountering a rival or a target. In this context, if members of two rival Bikie clubs come into contact, they are ordered or expected to act on site by physically attacking the other members, without warning or negotiation. It implies that the conflict is preemptively planned, and any meeting between the two groups will result in violence, usually to assert dominance or settle territorial disputes. Unless there has been some financial deal done between the two, which would be unlikely, the Mongols won't be happy about the Comanchero chapter, the bulletin added, hinting at the high stakes of such a violent Bikie world. The brutal nature of these interactions makes it difficult for any outsider, or even club members, to predict what will happen when these factions cross paths. In a statement to the media, Acting Superintendent Craig Bowman said that they gained intelligence that both current and former Comanchero members had been actively recruiting members for a newly formed street gang known as 50 Street Crew, and the police operation has interfered with these efforts early, and have effectively disrupted the club's activities. However, it remains unclear whether any high-ranking Comanchero members have been arrested in connection with the operation. The Gold Coast's outlaw Bikie scene has evolved significantly over the past 2 decades, shaped by violent territorial disputes, intense competition for control, and frequent law enforcement crackdowns. As new clubs emerge, older ones fall, and the power dynamics shift, the tensions between rival gangs have only escalated. With allegiances constantly in flux, and few agreements to keep the peace, the Gold Coast remains a powder keg of outlaw Bikie violence. Whatever is the case, rest assured, we'll be keeping a close eye on the situation and we'll keep you updated on any developments as they unfold. If you're looking for more thrilling and edgy Bikie updates, don't hesitate, whack that subscribe button, spread and share the video, hit that like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks or buy us a coffee to show some love. Your support keeps us going and the channel thriving, especially since most of our videos aren't monetized due to all the crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care. Wu-Tang.